Hello, everyone. This is Sam with Bookkeepers.com coming back to you again with another one of our featured friends here. Today, we will be joined by Dan Kuciel, who is the product owner for AI integrations for a longtime Bookkeeper launch favorite, DreamHost. Now, normally DreamHost is known for providing the domain and hosting for websites for small businesses. We have stood by them. They've stood with us for a number of years now. But today we really specifically want to cover a new feature that they are embarking on and have for the DreamHost user, and that is their business planner feature. It's taking AI and making it applicable to the average business owner. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce Dan, who just from knowing him briefly has done a really tremendous job with this business planner, as well as just being a really courteous and professional person. So gas him up a little bit. Dan, just give us a little background on you and DreamHost.
Thanks, Sam. My name is Dan Kuciel. I've been with DreamHost for about 11 years now. DreamHost has been around for more than 2 decades. So I came in, I was doing product marketing and email, pivoted into some product management, product ownership, and in the past few years, we've moved into AI because it's an industry that's booming. The tech is really impressive, and it's all about how you can use it and how you can implement this tech to help people achieve their goals faster, which is really what DreamHost is all about at the end of the day. So super excited to be here. Very excited to show you what we've been doing with our business planner. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to ask out of curiosity, you've done all this with DreamHost for a number of years now. Was it hard to learn the AI piece of it, or was it pretty easy?
You know what? It's a combination. It helps that I am ravenously passionate about it. I feel like if I wasn't doing this for my day job, I would be doing it in my spare time. So AI can be intimidating, but the biggest thing is to just start using it, to experiment around. That's one of the biggest advantages is it helps you go at your own pace. It helps you kind of forge your own path. And with a little bit of structure, even a rank beginner can start kind of realizing the magic of AI and getting some actual benefit for themselves.
Thank you for that. And yes, that actually kind of explains a dilemma that faces a lot of bookkeeping business owners. As many people in our audience, current students, people that want to be bookkeepers know, we're teaching people who have no experience to become bookkeepers. Not only that, but to own their own bookkeeping business. And definitely the most overwhelming piece I get day in and day out from feedback is how to actually start the business, specifically how to plan the business. So, this was a really new revelation to me, the business planner feature for DreamHost, and it's available to DreamHost users. And I just wanted to know, how does it help out someone, that has no experience, or maybe they don't have time, plan out and map a business plan for their own success?
You mentioned people that don't know where to start, and that's really who it's for. A lot of people nowadays, it's common to, you have an idea for a business. I have those shower thoughts a few times a week where I'm like, oh, this would be a brilliant idea. But in the past, it's been hard to get started. You either have to go to business school to kind of learn the ins and outs of how to, the fundamentals of a business, and then how to actually format it into something like a business plan.
Sure.
Which that's a great approach. The only problem with that, it's expensive, it's time consuming. You spend a lot of time learning generalized concepts that might not fully line up to what you're trying to do. And so even if you have the education, pivoting it into something that is actionable, that you can actually see some benefit and like, okay, this connects to my vision. That's a whole another step in and of itself. So what we're trying to do with this business planner is the people that they're inspired, they have an idea, they think it's got some legs, but they don't know where to start. And so what we're trying to do is add that structure around it, because creating a business plan, they're not brand new things. It's pretty well-established concepts, and so it's really easy to add that structure no matter what you're trying to do. And then with this new AI technology, it's amazing because it's not, in the past, it's been a template type of experience where you get into a system, you get into okay, here's how to create a business plan, but it's still, there's that disconnect. And so AI helps bridge the gap. And then what our tool does is it kind of steps you through the process. It holds your hand the entire journey from when you're just casually exploring an idea. Even if you're not going to do the education route, maybe you hire a consultant, but that's got its own set of problems, because if you're paying someone to do the work for you, you've got less ownership of it yourself. It pays to do a little bit of that hard work and that thought, but to have a system that will kind of keep track of where you're at. It will, move at your own pace. It'll provide suggestions when you hit a roadblock. If you get writer's block, that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for this whole process to feel very intimidating. And so we're just trying to lower that barrier of entry for people who want to make something happen.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes, I'm very excited to see how the business planner works, Dan.
Cool. So we can step into it. So what we're looking at here is the DreamHost control panel. And if you go to the home page, we've got all the normal stuff, but down here, we've got our set of business tools. And we have a few of them. There's the business planner, the business advisor, content builder. What we're looking at today is the business planner. And so let's go to the intake experience. So it starts you off with kind of a boilerplate, lets you kind of know what you're looking forward to. You can create a new business profile here, and then it steps you through. I think it's 9 different questions. And so it'll ask you if you already have a website. It's pretty flexible. You can hit skip if you don't necessarily have a website yet. And then it'll say, tell us about your business. Write a brief introduction for your business. It'll help the DreamHost AI Business Advisor come up with ideas that are specific to you. So let's say you're trying to start a bookkeeping business. Let's see, I'm starting a bookkeeping business that supports small dental practices with organizing financial records, managing monthly books, and keeping offices running smoothly. So something even that short, it can just be kind of stream of consciousness off the cuff. Here you see a little character counter. So we're only looking for 400 characters total. It doesn't need to be a big essay. And then you just proceed to step through these questions. So we can do a little some cooking show magic where I did a little bit of prep work here, and I can show you one that's already built out. So here's one called Precision Dental Books Co. And I already went through that 10-step intake form, but we can see some of those questions here where once you get into the experience, it takes those intake questions, and those are a small part of a much larger question set. So here we say, like, what's the name of your business? And then tell us about your business. What are the long-term visions for your business? All these types of things. So part of the cool part of this tool is if you draft a response, it doesn't need to be perfect right off the bat. It's more about consistency and steady progress and continuing to work through it. If you happen to run into some writer's block, there's a generate ideas button here. And I keep saying the cool part. There's so many cool parts of this tech that it still keeps me excited. The suggestions that it gets are all contextually relevant to everything that you've written so far. So already the generate ideas, it's all very on point. It talks about, we provide comprehensive monthly bookkeeping services, dental professionals, keeping up with financial regulations, a whole bunch of choices here. So you can pick one of these ideas or just get inspired, write something custom of your own. And then when you type something here and hit apply, it goes and runs some other AI agents that might need to backtrack here. It's this part. Okay, so here we have, here's a question for what's the long-term vision of your business? So if we generate ideas here, it comes up with a few options. And let's say the first one looks good. So establish Precision Dental Books Co. as a leading provider of specialized bookkeeping and financial management solutions exclusively dedicated to dental practices across the nation. Sure, let's go with that. When you hit apply, here's where we get a combination of a summary that gives you a nice, easy, kind of a too long, didn't read version of it, and also the very in-depth analysis here with this AI response audit. So it'll say some next steps to consider. It provides really detailed guidance, because the vision statement lacks a time frame and details on scaling strategies. It's good to clarify the 5 to 10 year ambition with clear milestones and resource considerations. So it'll give you some more details about that. And there's a whole bunch of categories here. It's very in depth. And talking about, it's important to not get overwhelmed. Even this amount of feedback, it's valuable. It's great. You might not be ready for it. And so in that case, we have a nice kind of summarized version here where the AI feedback gives a condensed version of all these very detailed points. And the cool part here, it'll quantize the progress that you've made so far. So this answer that we've got here, it's got 2 stars out of 3. So a little bit of room for growth, room for improvement, but it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're done with this, you can take a break, take a walk, take a breath, and you can just bounce around. There's a whole bunch of different groups here. You can click into these different groups, and like the marketing and sales section, there's nothing in here yet. So you can, what's your brand positioning statement? Some people have given this thought and they're ready to go and they're like, okay, I know my brand positioning statement. I talked with a consultant or something. That's awesome. You can type that in. And so the big thing is it lets you go at your own pace. And you've got kind of the power of AI behind you to, if you ever get stuck, it's about as difficult as paint by number. As long as you're curious about it, this can help you get inspired. It can help you kind of visualize the type of answer that would help you make progress in making this business plan. And as you do these questions, they start queuing up here. So we've got 7 pending changes for 7 questions that we filled out so far. And so at any point, most of these are not even filled out yet. That's fine. So let's say review changes. And here it'll give you a little summary of, okay, these are the questions that you've answered so far. Let's hit apply. So here we go. It kicks off a little process of generating your business plan. And if we click back over to the other view, you see this progress still going. You can click this and you can watch it. It's kind of, sometimes it's a little tricky to catch it, but you can watch it generating text in real time, which is kind of fun to see. Here we go. So you can see it working, and it doesn't just copy and paste your responses. It knows what constitutes a good business plan, the kind of structure, the kind of phrasing and language. And so it'll take the seed of what you filled in, and then it turns it into something that's very professional, very standardized and structured. And, the fear that a lot of people have is that they don't know what they're doing. It's natural it's something brand new. You don't want to embarrass yourself if you're going in front of a founding, funding, that kind of thing. And so here you have a really professional formatted document, and it's not completely filled out yet. Like some of these, like the location not filled in, that's great. It's this business plan is a great way to kind of keep track of your progress and keep you motivated and keep you moving.
Yeah, I would say that one of the big observations I see here is, and we teach this in Bookkeeper Launch, on how to come up with your marketing message or coming up with some of those language points like you were talking about. But this does it out of just a few prompts, and you don't have to necessarily come up with it from scratch. I think that that's one of the great points of the business planner, is that, the thing that kills most people is having to come up with their marketing, how they're going to approach clients. And this can help them come up with that language on top of all the many other things they can do, whether it's a plan for the business itself or a plan for the marketing, building your website, knowing what to offer and how to articulate that to clients. I think that being able to just give words and give a much more thorough and polished explanation to clients on what value that a bookkeeper brings to them, I think that's one of the most impactful benefits of this business planner feature from DreamHost.
Yeah. It solves the problem of not knowing what you don't know yet, and the kind of the apprehension that comes with that. It's great to have a non-judgmental partner. That's one of the coolest parts of AI is you can ask it dumb questions.
Yeah.
Because I would always hear from teachers in school, oh, there are no dumb questions, and it's like I don't know about that. I feel like I might have a dumb question, and it holds you back from taking the steps and asking the questions and just being kind of having that shameless honesty of, I need some help here. I don't know where to start. I don't even know if I'm formulating the question the right way. And so this business planner, the AI is tuned to, it's almost meme worthy at this point, that we've all seen the thing about the AI chat where it thinks that everything that you say is an amazing idea, even if it's kind of terrible. And so this doesn't give you that false sense of confidence. It's very realistic. If we go back into some of these the analysis, it gives you a realistic, opinion on whether it's good enough. Like it'll say here, your vision clearly establishes a focused and ambitious direction, but then it gets into, but the long-term vision statement would benefit from greater specificity, particularly in terms of timing, scaling steps, brand distinction, legal structures, and enablers. So it gives you those very concrete things, very actionable items that, you can think on these yourself. You can, discuss them with your loved ones, your friends, anyone who might be influential in your vision for how you're going to execute your business. And the biggest thing is it kind of keeps track of wherever you're at, wherever you're starting from. Maybe you come in with a full business education. that's amazing. That gives you a big jump start. But even if you have no experience with business, you just have, a loose idea and some passion, it can help step you through that and get you to where you want to be.
Excellent. Very good. Well, this is an incredibly edifying presentation. And this is something that people that already have a DreamHost account can use, right? The business planner.
Right. Yeah. It's available to all customers. It's, you can have a very affordable hosting plan. You can have a cheap domain. I'm not here to sell hosting plans and domains right now, but in this day and age, it's kind of par for the course that you can get a domain name, you can get a .com for, $15. They have some new TLDs, .fun or .shop. Sometimes they run promos. You can get in the door for a few bucks. Hosting plans are pretty affordable. So it's a good idea to have those anyway. And if you get kind of just a basic, even just a website plan, you don't have to have a full setup, but that gets you full access to these business tools. And we, again, this is not a sales pitch. We know that tools like this are going to make people more successful. And as they get more successful and they need to increase their website hosting needs, that's kind of DreamHost bread and butter. And so we're happy to provide these really, I'm still impressed with how capable this tool is. I use it for myself. And I'm kind of shocked that we provide in-depth analysis of this level. Like, this is the kind of thing that just a few years ago, you would pay thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for professionals that know what they're doing. And now it's in the hands of everyone. So it's an amazing time to be learning this technology. You haven't missed the bus. If you haven't gotten onto the AI train yet, there's still plenty of time. We are still in the early days, but it's tools like this that it provides wrappers around the tech that makes it very approachable. And yeah, it's hard to go wrong. So it's really fun to just play with and see what you can do.
Well, good. Thank you very much, Dan. If you want, guys, check them out at DreamHost.com. Be sure to hit the link in the description, hit the like, subscribe. This helps both of us out. It helps you out too. Till next time, guys.